got done doing my big morning walk, and so perfect timing. I figured I'd do it in the morning here in Thailand, so it's like, I think it's kind of like 9 o'clock on the East Coast and probably 5 o'clock on the West Coast, 5 or 6. But yeah, so I figured I would do it at this time. I get up every morning here in Bangkok at around 4:35, and I go for a 20,000 step walk, a little bit, around 10 miles. And I walk down Rama 9 to a soak, BTS, and then past a soak to Ben Chadi Park. I'm using my trusty iPad today too to answer questions, so I won't be scrolling through the phone, which will be nice. For those that don't know, I am getting a bunch of dental work done here in Bangkok. I'll talk about that in a second, but let me give you my schedule. So I'm here in Bangkok from now until 1 August. Then 1 August, I fly over to Malaysia, and then in Kuala Lumpur, I'm there for 2 months till October 1st. And then I fly to the Manila, Philippines, and I'll be at BGC, which if you don't know anything about BGC Manila, look it up. It's kind of like an amazing neighborhood in Manila, a really cool place. And I'll be there until actually, I think, January 9th. So I'll be there a little bit over 3 months. So in Bangkok for about 2 months, Kuala Lumpur for 2 months, the Philippines for 3 months. And that brings me into 2025. And I don't know what I'm going to do there yet. I'm going to jump into your questions in a second. So I know a lot of you are curious about the dental work I'm getting done here. So for those that don't know, I'm getting a full mouth restoration done here in Bangkok. I'm at Bangkok International Dental Clinic, which is kind of a world-renowned place. My dentist went to University of Michigan for cosmetic dentistry. She is great. I am on week 2 of like 4 weeks. I currently have temporary crowns in. I don't know if you can see that right now. Yeah, I'll do a normal smile. But these are temporary crowns. I'm documenting every single day of my dental journey. I document everything. I say what happened that day, who the doctor was, and what the cost was, how long I was in the dental chair, all that kind of stuff. These are my second set of dental crowns, and if you watch that video in the future, you'll see the first set. And at the end of this week, I start getting my final ones. But I still have appointments until 22 June, so still a lot of stuff to do. But yeah, for those who don't know, I had a severe overbite, and it had just worn down the back of my front teeth over time. And I wanted to bring back my smile from when I was in my 20s. So I already knew that dental work in Thailand was some of the best in the world. And so I just did my research and found a clinic, a doctor, and that's what I'm here doing right now. So, all right, I'm going to jump into the chat here. I saw Andrea's in here. I saw James Britt is in here. Rich L is in here. Angela was in here. Yuki. I won't go through everybody because that'll be too much. But if you have a question, put a bunch of stars in front of it or put the question marks, and I'll easily be able to find it here. I got my trusty little iPad here. Henry, what's going on, man? He says, hope your day is going well. Great to see you here again. Yeah, it's going great. Like I mentioned, I get up in the morning and I do my 20,000 steps. I walk about 45 minutes down Rama 9 to get to a soak BTS. And then I cross the street there, and there's a park there called Ben Chadi Park. And it's a huge park, huge running track. And a bunch of people are out there walking and running in the morning. It's great. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that there's a lot of monitor lizards in that park. Some pretty big ones, but some little baby ones too. Okay. If you have any questions, throw them out there. Natural Liza says, I'm joining from New Jersey. Never have I been on a cruise. You got to check out cruising. Natural, it's great. For those that don't know, I just finished a year of living on nothing but cruise ships, and it was a great experience. I got a video, my last video, which is kind of like a Q&A session about the last year. I got that out there. What time is it here? It's 8:05 here in the morning, a.m. So. Someone said, how's my teeth going? I just did a huge explanation. So if you back up the video like 3 minutes ago, you'll hear like this whole explanation of what's going on with my grill. I'm sure we'll get a bunch more questions about it. Can you guys see a difference? It's a pretty big difference, to be honest with you. I've been really impressed with the work so far. If you don't mind smashing that thumbs up button, it helps more people find the video, so I really appreciate it. Michelle says, I can see a difference. Joe, the computer guy, says, yeah, it looks good. I appreciate that. I mean, these are temporary, so they're made of like acrylic, and it's like, they seem individual, but it's really like one piece that they make in a mold, and then they glue it to your mouth. They've done all the prep work to put the final crowns on, but once you get the final crowns, so I'm getting 22 crowns and 6 veneers. So the bottom will be veneers, and the top and the back teeth are crowns. The reason most people get veneers on the front, but I had a really bad overbite, and it had just worn down the back of the front of my teeth so bad that they have to do crowns on the front because there's just not enough support there to support veneers on my top teeth. So normally you would get 6 to 8 veneers here and 6 to 8 veneers here, and then crowns in the back. So it'd be a little cheaper than what I'm spending, but since I need to get crowns in the front. Anyway, so the crowns in the back and the crowns in the back are made out of zirconia. You can also get them in porcelain, but zirconia is kind of the way dentists are going now because it's stronger and looks more tooth-like. And so I'm going with zirconia in the back, and then Emax is what it's called for the front, and then something between zirconia and Emax for the front crowns. So the thing about zirconia is it's not as translucent as Emax, and so it doesn't look as natural on the front teeth, where Emax looks very natural, but it's not as strong. And since my front teeth were worn down so much, what my crowns are holding on to is not as much as maybe a normal person would have. So we're doing something in between Emax and zirconia for the front top teeth to make them a little bit stronger. So, but I'll have a whole video about this. I'm literally documenting every single day that I get dental work done, which is about every 2 or 3 days. And usually I'm in the chair 2 to 4 hours during an appointment. So if it's a 4-hour thing, then you'll do 2 hours, and then we'll take like a 20-minute break and then hop back in the chair. Because I'm doing a full mouth restoration. I'm getting basically every tooth done. I didn't have any cavities or anything like that. I only needed 1 root canal, and I didn't need it because a cavity had gotten to the root. A long time ago, like 30 years ago, I bought some peanuts in Italy, and there was like a little rock in the peanuts, and it like cracked my back tooth, and I got it fixed and everything, but it was like 30 years ago with the technology they had back then. And that tooth has a lot of little cracks in it, so there were so many little cracks in it that they needed to do a root canal so they could put an extra post in there, so when they put the crown on, it holds without having to completely extract the tooth and do one of those fake teeth or whatever. So I still have all my teeth. And I didn't have any new cavities, just the fillings I had that were done almost 30 years ago as well. Because I haven't had a cavity since I joined the military. And so, all right, I'm gonna try to jump in here and get some questions. Sorry if I'm looking down and you're watching this on replay, but can you talk about what you think are the best countries that you might recommend for U.S. expat overseas retirement? So I'm not a great person to ask that question because I'm a global nomadic expat. I hop from place to place. There are like if you watch there are a lot of YouTube channels that are devoted to specific countries, and I would say to go watch those channels in the countries you're interested in. Like Vagabond Awake is one of my favorite. He does really great retirement destination videos. It's really hard for me to speak to that because I don't sign long-term leases. I don't really worry about long-term visas, except for in Thailand. I do have a Thai Elite visa, which allows me to stay a year at a time. But off the top of my head, some places that I think are great that I've been are Malaysia. It's really easy for a Western expat to go there because everyone speaks English. It's a primary language there, and it's super, super affordable. It still has super affordable apartments and things like that right in the heart of the city. Or if you don't want to be in a big city like Kuala Lumpur, they got Penang, which is like on an island. It's also like an old British colony, so it's very old world Victorian era type of buildings and things like that. So yeah, Malaysia would be one. Thailand, obviously, I love Thailand. It's a great one. There's so many. I mean, I lived in Vietnam for a month. I loved it there. I lived in Puerto Escondido, Mexico. I loved it there. Someone just mentioned that. I lived in Mexico City. I loved it there. I think it's a great place. Budapest, Bulgaria, Georgia. You know, I can think of a million places, but I'm not the best person to ask for that. You know, where should an expat go? Because I'm a global expat. I country hop, and I don't see that ever changing, to be honest with you. Maybe I'll stay a little longer. Like I'm staying in the Philippines for 3 months, and it's really because I want to try out BGC Philippines, which is in Manila. If you don't know about BGC, Google BGC. It's great. It's beautiful. Greyhound Girl, hey from the Lou. What's going on, Greyhound Girl? How you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. Let's see. I see a difference too, Kevin. I would like to know how your dental work, has your dental work been painful at all? No. To be honest with you, it's been really comfortable. The most comfortable dental work I have had in my life. I think like most of my dental work in my life was done in the US military, where it's kind of like factory oriented. And I don't know a lot about dental care outside of military dental care, but the stuff I'm getting here in Thailand at this Bangkok International Dental Clinic, which is geared towards tourists, like dental tourism, the customer service is like, I mean, it's like unbelievably good, and they just go out of their way to make sure that I'm comfortable constantly. So it's been relatively painless. I mean, obviously, they numb you, and when they stick you with the numbing thing, you know, that is painful. And then after you recover and all the numbing wears off, you got some pain, you know. I mean, I had a root canal, but during the root canal, there was no pain at all, just the recovery pain. So. From Henry says, Kevin, I would also love to go to Thailand for dental work. I'm sure it's much cheaper than the horrible healthcare in the US. Your thoughts on American healthcare? So for healthcare, I'll be honest with you, Malaysia is my favorite place. I'm going to be going and getting a full male health check there, and I'll document that. To me, Malaysia has the best healthcare in the world. I chose Thailand for dental because it's in the top 3 for dental care in the world. I mean, my dentists went to University of Michigan, so if you're uncomfortable you want to go to a U.S. trained doctor. I mean, my doctor's U.S. trained. I'm just getting it way cheaper. So I just told you what I've gotten done. I'm getting 22 crowns and 6 veneers. I also, because I had such a severe overbite, they had to do a lot of buildup of the back of my teeth. So see now if you looked at me before, my front teeth would be like down here. Completely covered my bottom teeth, like completely. And now it's like this. They had to build up the back. So that was an additional cost that a lot of people won't need. So right now, I've already paid for everything. There's just a few more little minor charges left, and I've spent a little bit, about $16,000, a little bit over 16,000 US dollars. But remember, that is 22 crowns and 6 veneers. Price that in the US, and you're talking 50 to 60,000. You had to building up your jaw to be normal, not have such a severe pronounced overbite. And you're talking close to $80,000 in the US. So $20,000, I'm getting the exact same type of crowns you would get in the US. The zirconia, I'm getting the Emax, which is if you go anywhere in the US and you get veneers, you're going to get Emax veneers. Those are the best. If you want the best, that's the best. I'm getting the best. You could cut costs if you wanted to and get a little bit cheaper, like a different style of crowns, cheaper crowns. I just went with the most expensive ones that last the longest. They last 10 to 20 years. And I'm almost 49 now, so I'll worry about it in my 60s basically. But yeah, for healthcare, Malaysia. Not that healthcare in Thailand's bad. This is where they caught my prostate cancer. Actually, my U.S. doctor didn't catch it. They caught it in Thailand. So I wouldn't say the healthcare is bad here, but I just prefer the healthcare in Malaysia. It's a very similar experience to the dental care I'm getting here in Bangkok, the customer service wise. Question from Alabama Jean. Did you get through the whole year of cruising with free offers, just running 1,200 and the one-time plus all your free play? Do you still have a bunch of unused offers? Yeah, I have a ton of unused offers, to be honest with you. I can still cruise with Princess relatively inexpensively, which is amazing. So I would say half the year I had no cruise deals like that. If you watch some of my older videos, you'll see it was cruising full-time ran me anywhere from $2,500 to $4,000 a month. And then once I started getting those casino deals, it was running me between $2,000 to $3,000 a month. So, although the cruising sometimes was really cheap. Will you be making travel videos again or just stick with live chats? Definitely travel videos. We'll see how it evolves. So what I'm doing over the next few months, over the next, I guess, 7-8 months, is I'm staying in these communities that are live, work, play. I'm really looking for places to live where everything's at my fingertips. I walk out my door, there's a grocery store, there's all kinds of restaurants. There's a track for me to get exercise, there's a gym. Everything is right there within grabbing distance. And the first place I'm staying here in Bangkok, right now I'm in a hotel that's right next to my dental clinic, like literally 2 seconds. They're in the same building actually. And so that's where I'm staying, where I'm at right now. Although it's great too. There's a lot of great stuff around here. But on the 20th, I'm moving over to True Digital Park, which is in Bangkok. And it is this live, work, play community that was developed, and it looks like an amazing little community, and everything's at your fingertips. Everything is right there. You've got grocery stores within a 30-second walk. You have as many stores as you can think of, dining, laser fast internet, and there's a running track that goes around the area that's covered, which is very important in Bangkok during the rainy season like it is right now. But that's what I'm doing over the next 7 months. If you're just joining this live stream, I will be in Bangkok until August 1st. From August 1st to October 1st, I'll be in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And then from October 1st to January 9th, I think it is, I'll be in BGC, Manila, Philippines. If you don't know what BGC is, it's Bonifacio Global City. Just Google BGC and you'll see all kinds of videos about it, but it's a really swanky neighborhood where everything's at your fingertips in Manila, and I'm super excited to try it out. I'm also thinking about getting a retirement visa there. So I have a long-term visa here in Thailand. I have a 20-year Thai Elite visa. I still have 18 years left. I just actually got to put in my new passport. But because I'm retired military, the Philippines has this visa specifically for retired U.S. military, because they had an agreement with the U.S. military for so long. A lot of Filipinos could join the U.S. military. They also have a VA medical center in the Philippines, which I think is the only one overseas. So I think I'm going to take advantage of that and get that relatively inexpensive long-term visa. So then I'll have long-term visas in 2 different countries that I really enjoy, and it'll just be places that I can bounce to that I don't really have to worry about visas. Okay, let's see. But to answer your question, in Cadia 1, I will be making travel videos. Looking great, sir, from one veteran to another. Well done. I am trying to get my wife to consider selling her home and traveling the world when our son graduates. Any suggestions to help, says Second Chance Warriors. Go over and check out Global Life Finances. Also, no, not Global, Grounded Life Finances, and also Grounded Life Travels, same people. Go check them out. They're a couple that's 50 years old. They're traveling full time. And I think if you start sharing that with your wife, maybe she'll like it. Also, go check Mom Duty, and they live in BGC Philippines, but they also travel a lot, and ABC Philippines, which is also in BGC. Show your wife BGC. Like, start her off in BGC, which is like the Beverly Hills of Manila, and I think you'll find that she'll be like, oh yeah, we can do this. Let's see. Mountain Guy Venture says, Kevin, wow, YouTube has not pushed me your content. Odd. Any plans for van life again? I'm getting a crown as well. Slow process. Good to see your channel again. Yeah. So van life is always on the table. I'm transitioning to a point where I want to start integrating all the different styles of travel. Like, I'm trying to find a cruise from Asia to the United States around the time I'll be wrapping it up in Asia. And so I'm going to still cruise. The prices are starting to fall on the Honda Elements. So what I want to do is get a Honda Element and hire Johnny's Journey to build it out for me. So then I have a van when I'm in the States, and then my mother can just use it because it has 4-wheel drive. She can just use it during the winter when I'm not there. I just had a crown and molar last week. Was zirconia, cost $584. That was after the root canal. Yeah, so I would say my crowns are, I don't know exactly what they're costing a piece. I have to look at it. It'll be in that video I have. I mean, I'm meticulously documenting every single day the cost of each thing and all that kind of stuff. So I'm also at a little bit more expensive, high-end dental place. You know, you can find much cheaper work here in Thailand as well. I was just really comfortable with the dentist that I made a connection with. And this is very like elitist of me, but I was just impressed that she went to University of Michigan for 2 years in restorative dentistry. And I was just really impressed by that because I know how good of a school University of Michigan is. Do you ever fly Space A? I have never flown Space A. For those who don't know, if you're retired military, you have access to Space A flights, which is like military flights to different places, and it's free. The only issue is you just kind of got to check in for the flight, and maybe it leaves, maybe it doesn't. You have to be really flexible. And I just like going. And because I use the Chase Sapphire Reserve credit card and I travel full time, so almost all my expenses are the things I get a ton of points for. I fly for free business class anyway, so it's not something that I really need to do because I'm flying relatively inexpensively anyway because of credit card points, to be honest with you. But it might be something I would consider in the future. I've just never done it before, and except for when I was in the military, and it was always kind of a pain in the rear end, to be honest with you. Are ladies coming in hot because of the new teeth? I don't know yet. I don't know. I haven't really, when you're walking around, your mouth is shut. So I haven't. I am smiling more. I've always like been a big smiler, but over the years, I drink a lot of coffee. I mean, I'm drinking the Nescafe things, and anyone who's been to Thailand knows these things. They're little lattes. And tea and soda, just stuff that's not good for your teeth. I mean, I always brush my teeth twice a day. I always got cleanings every 6 months. All the stuff you're supposed to do. But just the years have taken its toll on my teeth, and it's just nice to have a bright white smile. My bottom teeth are straight for the first time in my life. These are temporary crowns, by the way. These aren't the final ones. The final ones will be much better because temporary crowns are made with acrylic. They're basically one piece, and they're a little bit like rough. So your like lip gets caught on them, so you look a little bit more toothy than you would with the real crowns that are like kind of slick, like your real teeth, So anyway. Elite Digital Press says Mexico Puerto Escondido was absolutely the best. Yeah, I love Puerto Escondido. I have videos about it if you've never seen it before. Yeah, I love Puerto Escondido. I love to surf, and it's a great place to surf. I had a dental cleaning in Pattaya last March. It was $29 by the actual dentist. Yeah, I mean, dental care is ridiculously cheap. I've spent $16,000 on full mouth restoration, including raising my bite level, changing basically the way my jaw operates, which is a kind of a big expense. And I'm getting, for those who just joined, it's going to be repetitive to those who've been watching. I'm getting 22 crowns and 6 veneers. So lots of dental work and multiple appointments. I think I'm going to end up having like 18 total dentist appointments. Michelle says, I'm in bed already. Great to see you live. Yeah, I did it just like, I was like, well, let me do it at 8 o'clock, and it'll be late on the East Coast, but not too late on the West Coast. And I get up and do my 20,000 steps every morning. So it was just as I was coming back from that. What are you using to shave your head? So I used to use a pit bull, but then I just found a cheap one on Amazon. If you go back to some of my packing videos, there might be a link to it, but it's just a cheap one, to be honest with you, and I've been using it for 2 years, and it's been great. I don't even know, it's like an off-brand Chinese-made thing. There's probably a bazillion on them, but it's been actually better quality than my pit bull, which was super expensive. Ann says, that's a lot of crowns. Smile is looking great. Thank you. I'm looking forward to smiling more, to be honest with you. Over the past few years, I've been kind of self-conscious about it, especially as my front teeth were wearing down. I've explained this already, but I know some of you are just joining the live stream. I had a really bad overbite, if you never noticed, and the bottom teeth were basically shaving off the back of my front teeth over time, so they were getting really thin. And you could almost see through them, and it just looked horrible. So, love that you are sharing Thai and Malaysia health and medical care. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm a huge fan of. I mean, they caught my cancer in Thailand. They didn't catch it in the U.S. Like, how screwed up is that? But Malaysia is by far, I think, the best healthcare in Asia. I mean, even people from Singapore go to Malaysia. Someone said, are you from Cruise Critic to someone else? Healthcare is a personal choice. I agree with you. Feel confident in a certain country, try to do it. Yeah, definitely. I mean, go where you feel good. Joe the computer guy said, I didn't realize you had prostate cancer, was diagnosed a few weeks ago and had an MRI come back with PIRADS 4, getting biopsy next week. Yeah, I mean, the good thing is it's one of the, I've had cancer twice. I had basal cell skin cancer on my forehead and then very early prostate cancer, and it's kind of like winning the lottery of cancers. Both of those, You know, like you don't never want to get cancer, but both super curable. Even my prostate cancer, my doctor was like, hey, look, even if we don't treat this, you're probably going to live another 40 years. And actually said, hey, if you really don't want to treat it, like you'll be fine. We'll just monitor it. But I was like, no, let's just do it. It's why I took a little, I'm very private about this kind of stuff when it's happening. I didn't even tell my mother because I knew she would go into freak out mode. But it was before I went cruising. It's why I took so much time off between Thailand and cruising, as I was getting treated for that. And then, yeah. Okay. We all need a source of online income. I want to thank you for your service, and you're entitled to your retirement income stream. Yeah, it's great. I mean, I feel fortunate all the time. Andrea says, I have a casino deal for a transatlantic for $365. That sounds like a good deal. What ship? Let's see. Call Me V says retirement visa in the Philippines would be nice. All right, I'm trying to get caught up. If you have a question, put a bunch of question marks in front of it and I'll get to it. Would you take the train from Bangkok to Malaysia? You know, I would, but I've already booked my flight. I wish I would have saw this before because I love train travel. And I absolutely would have took the train from Bangkok to Malaysia. I have a video where I took the train from Chiang Mai to Bangkok, or maybe it was the other way around. I think it was Chiang Mai to Bangkok. And it was great. I love train travel. Captain Photon, what's going on, man? How you doing? How's cruising going? Any advice for a solo traveler that is not seasoned and worried about navigating visas and getting around, finding accommodations? Asked Brian Wilson. So Brian, I don't know where you're from, but if you're from most Western countries, you're going to get a visa on arrival 95% of places. If you fly to Thailand right now, you're going to get 60 days. So just by arriving, you'll get a tourist visa, and that's all you need to do if you're not staying over more than 60 days. If you're staying more than 60 days, Google how to extend visa in Thailand, and you'll find a million different resources, or go to YouTube and search it. Find a million different resources on how to do that. If you go to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, you'll get 90 days visa on arrival. If you go to the Philippines, you'll get 30 days, which you can extend it 60 days. So you'll get 90 days, and you can extend it again for a year. If you're from most Western countries, you can extend it all the way up to 3 years. I think at some point you're able to get a 6 month to a 1 year extension. So yeah, there's a ton of places. If you go to Europe, I think it's like 90 days, every 180 days or something like that. But there's places you can go in Europe, like Georgia. You can go there and it's a 1 year tourist visa. There's all kinds of resources on that. If you go down to Mexico, it's 6 months. Costa Rica, I think, is 90 days. I can't remember. So yeah, there's a lot of resources out there on that. As far as getting around, 90% of places you go will have Uber. So download the Uber app. If you're in Asia, there's a company called Grab that bought out Uber. And you can use Grab, which is exactly like Uber. You can use Grab in Thailand, Malaysia, Philippines. It also has Grab Eats, which people will deliver your food. And it's so much cheaper than the United States. Like if I order, like right now, if I order, I don't know, let's say I feel like eating Burger King, and I order Burger King, it'll cost me 10 baht to have it delivered. The price of the food plus 10 baht. 10 baht is about 30 cents. So add 30 cents to your bill. It's so cheap to have stuff delivered. You can order groceries that way too. So for getting around, it's pretty easy. We're lucky nowadays we have these cell phones. If you have a phone that has digital eSIM capability, which most new phones do, download an app called Airalo, and Airalo will have eSIMs that you can download in every country you go to. I don't do that, but I have a lot of friends that do it. I have T-Mobile. I have the T-Mobile Global Plan, which is $70 a month for a veteran. I don't know what it is. Normally, it's probably like $75 a month. I think I get like a $5 discount. And I can use my phone anywhere. Or in the United States, it's unlimited 5G. Mexico and Canada, I get 15 gigabytes a month, which is a lot. And then anywhere else in the world, I get 5 gigabytes a month. And if you're on Wi-Fi all the time, which in most countries you will be, it's hard to use 5 gigabytes. But even if you use up your 5 gigabytes, you're still on 256 kilobytes. So I just really like T-Mobile because I don't have to do anything. I have my US number. I don't have to download any eSIMs or anything like that. And it's relatively inexpensive. It's $70 a month. I could be on the $50 a month plan and not get the 5 gigabytes a month of high-speed data in almost every country I go to, and then just use Airalo and buy a card. And I thought about that because then I could just get more data. But just to keep my life simple, I just pay $70 a month, and my phone works just like it does in the US. It's the 10th day. Yesterday I ran out of my 5 gigabyte high-speed data, but I can still use Google Maps. I can still go on Instagram. It's just really slow. That's what's great about T-Mobile is it works in any country, even if you don't have some kind of global plan, which is great. Okay. Call Me V says, I always say my mouth is worth a Ferrari. That's awesome. Now, Kevin, so will yours. Yeah, I mean, I always tell people, like, I don't own a car. I own a house, but someone rents it out. I don't own a lot of things. The most expensive things I own are my iPad and my iPhone. I always get the latest. I like technology. I get those things. When I spent $30,000 on a Thai Elite visa, people said I was nutso and wasting my money, which is fine. Now it's much more expensive for a 20-year visa. I think it's $100,000 in Thailand, although they have made the arrival visas much cheaper. But I just spend my money on other stuff that, some people spend money on TVs and cars and stuff like that. I spend money on things like having a good smile. So, yeah. Did you consider Colombia for your dental work? Are prices comparable in Thailand? Yeah, they're very similar. I think Colombia is a good spot to go to. When you look at dental tourism, like rankings, Thailand is usually in most things at the top. It's, it rotates. Colombia's up there. Certain places in Mexico are there. But I thought, again, I know this is, elitist of me, but Bangkok International Dental Clinic is world renowned. It was one of the first dental clinics recognized by like the groups that recognize quality dental care. And I really liked that my doctor went to University of Michigan for restorative dentistry, which is what I want, restorative dentistry, right? So Bangkok International Dental Clinic is the one I'm at, is famous to Australians. There are some Americans that come here. Basically, Thai celebrities come here, and a ton of Australians come here for dental work. And yeah, so because it's so far away, Americans tend to want to go to Colombia or Mexico. So Colombia and Mexico have good dental work as well. Turkey is another spot, although I've seen a lot of scams in Turkey where right now I'm wearing temporary crowns and veneers, and they're nice, but this is not what you want long term. It's not going to last. This is just temporary. They do all the work on your teeth. My first set of, this is my second set of temporary crowns. My first set were what's called natural white. and they wanted me to see that color. And these are, I think, OM2 or OM something. And they wanted me to see this color. And then they showed me a bunch of other colors of white, you know, like super white, like Ross from Friends, you know, glow in the dark white. But in Turkey, a lot of times, this is what they'll give you. You got to make sure if you're doing dental work that you're getting final crowns, not just temporary crowns. And also, a lot of times they'll call these veneers, and they're not. They're crowns. They have to completely file your teeth all the way around your teeth. Shave your teeth is what they call it. Where with veneers, they just shave the front. You keep a lot of your teeth. Where crowns, most of your teeth is taken away, just enough to anchor the crown, to glue it to it and anchor it. So you really want to lean towards veneers if your teeth are in good enough shape for that. Like I'm getting 6 veneers on these bottom ones because these bottom teeth were in good enough shape. You're almost always going to get crowns in the back because they're just a harder material, and those are the teeth you need the really strong material with. But in the front, most of the time you'll get veneers if your teeth are strong enough to support them. I mentioned earlier, I know I'm repeating myself, but we got some new people on here. My teeth, I have a really bad overbite, and my bottom teeth over the years had worn the back of my front teeth down, which is why I need crowns on these front teeth. So, yeah, the temps look great. And so when you go over to Turkey and you get these temps, you're like, oh, this is great. But they'll fall apart like within a few months because they're not designed to be permanent. But they look great. I mean, they look great. So look out for those kind of scams. Make sure do your research. Like I really researched this place. I researched a bunch of different clinics. But I really did my research on like what the quality care is, and like, you know, you want to find out where do the rich Thai people go, or where do the rich Malaysian people go, or where do the rich Mexican people go, and go there. When you were on a cruise for 103 days, how many times did you have to change cabins, or were you able to book through? So my last 60 days, I was in the same cabin. The cabin before that, I was in for 34 days. And in the beginning, the rest of the time, I was in another cabin. So if you're going to do back-to-back bookings on a cruise ship, you can do it yourself, but you got to pull up a bunch of different tabs and see what cabin is available on all the cruises, the same cabin. But what I would recommend doing is like with Princess, they have those travel agents or travel specialists. Just call one of them because they'll be able to pull it up on their screen and be able to do it really easily. What I did originally was I booked all these cruises, and I was on another cruise. And I went to the cruise desk, the future cruise desk, and I asked them to put as many of them together as they could, and they did. It was a little late in the game, so that's why they weren't all in the same cabin. But I did the last 60 days in the same cabin, and then before that, 34 days. So yeah. Hey, Calvin, Maxine, what's going on? Hey, this is Trucking Life, aka Bart. What's going on? I met Bart on the Ruby Princess. Captain Photon's next cruise is on Emerald Princess to Greenland. That's like a bucket list for me. Are cruise ships typically smoother to sail on trans-ocean than naval ships? Yeah, well, depends on what kind of naval ship. So on an aircraft carrier, it's so big that you barely feel anything. So it's very similar to a cruise ship, probably better from a rocking back and forth, although you have to deal with the loudness of planes landing on the deck. You have to live in an airport. For the first half of my career, I was on very small ships, that only hold like 200 people. They're frigates. And those were definitely a lot you feel the seas a lot more than you do on a cruise ship. So. Christy says, what city or area should be on someone's bucket list? So obviously the islands, there's a bunch of different islands. Just Google Thai islands and you'll be able to read the narrative of what that island is famous for. Some of them are party islands, like the Full Moon Party, which is famous in Thailand or in the world. People want to go to it when they're young. I wouldn't go to it now. It's not my thing, not my scene. But and then there's other islands that are just renowned for their beauty. Others that if you want to go like snorkeling with whale sharks, there's some amazing Thai islands. So in my opinion, Thailand is like 3 separate locales. You have the south, which is like Phuket, and it's a bunch of beach life. It's like the beach life, right? Then you have north of that, and you have Bangkok, which is like urban city, one of the most amazing cities in the world. And then you have northern Thailand, which is like Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, Pai. If you want the hippie experience, you want to see a bunch of people in dreadlocks doing yoga, go to Pai. If you want a bunch of temples, go to Chiang Rai. If you want like a really like digital nomad, expat type of community, go to Chiang Mai. If you want the New York City in Asia, go to Bangkok. If you want that beach life, go stay down south. So Hoi Hin is another beach town. So I would say Bangkok for sure. And then Chiang Mai, and then you can branch out from Chiang Mai to Pai and Chiang Rai, and then do the beach life down in Phuket. Hey, Ramona Delaney joined the road crew. I got to start doing more stuff for channel members. I mean, there are channel members that have been doing this for over 3 years, man. It's crazy. I got a super chat from Henry. Thanks, Henry. As a minimalist, how do you keep all, how do you keep all your videos backed up on your channel? How about your personal documents and pictures? Do you have external hard drives? So my iPad is 2 terabytes, so it's easy to store stuff on there. But I also have, I just have a bunch of SD cards. You can get them like half a terabyte now. And I just store those videos on there. As soon as I'm done, I shoot everything with my iPhone now. As soon as I'm done shooting a video, I get rid of all the footage that I used, and if I want to save it, I put it on one of those SD cards. I just transfer it over. But yeah, I have tons of storage space. I keep most stuff on SD cards, to be honest with you. I have iCloud, but I pay for the 99-cent version, which I think is only like 5 terabytes or something. So I would fill that up pretty fast. Hey, Anne-Marie Foster, what's going on? How do you shave your head? What razor? So I just use this like Chinese one I bought on Amazon. I mentioned it earlier. It's in one of my videos, one of my packing videos, linked, I think. But they're all pretty much the same. And I've had it for 2 years. It works great. I used to have the expensive Pitbull one, and it's why I never recommended it. It was decent, but it's just too expensive. You can find ones that do the same thing for $60 instead of paying $300. So, yeah. No TikTok or Instagram veneers, yeah. I mean, there's this famous dentist that like looks at those TikTok videos and then says, oh my God, like you screwed up. Can we change room while we are on board if we change our mind, says Trading for Science. I mean, some cruise ships might allow that, but most won't. Yeah, so usually no, but you can always go and ask. What time of the year would you recommend for a repositioning cruise to the USA? So cruise ships go back to Asia they do Trans-Pacific around September, October timeframe because they're done with the Alaskan season. So if you want to do a Trans-Pacific over to Asia, you do it that time. And then the transatlantics are done. When are transatlantics done? I guess like, I don't know. Someone else answer that. My brain is fogged right now with that information. It's during hurricane season in the Caribbean, usually, is when the transatlantics are. Accommodation while you're getting your teeth done, expensive. So it's a little bit expensive. I wish I would have come here and then booked it. I booked it on hotels.com, the hotel I'm at, which is in the exact same building as Bangkok International Dental Clinic, which is why I booked it, because then I could just walk to my appointments, and afterwards I can just walk back. I mean, not even walk. It's like, I mean, it's literally in the same building. So I booked 28 days, and it was like $1,200 for the month. Had I just come here and got it, I think it would have been much cheaper. I also booked the bigger room, which, you know, I don't think you necessarily need, but it's much cheaper if you do it over here instead of through something like that. So maybe book it for a couple days online and then come over here. Yeah. Spoke to a few expats in Pattaya who left the Philippines for a better life in Thailand. Yeah, I mean, I'd be curious to know where they were. There's a lot of places in the Philippines that I don't personally like, where a lot of expats go. I really like the high-end area called BGC. So, and a lot of expats don't go there because they think it's too expensive. So it depends on where they are. But yeah, I think if they were in BGC, and maybe they just can't afford BGC because it's a little bit pricey. But I think if they were in BGC, they would like the Philippines. You and my cousin would have a lot to talk about. She used to live in Thailand. Very cool. Hey, any advice for a balding guy? How do you shave your head? So Baldy, check out the YouTube channel. Oh man, Bald Cafe. If you go back to my old videos, I have hair, and I found the channel Bald Cafe, which is basically like embracing losing hair and anyway, I had my YouTube channel watchers back in the day vote on whether or not I should shave my head or not, and they voted yes. And so I had 3 people I was traveling with shave my head. It was a video. It was a video of it happening. But yeah, I would say go watch Bald Cafe. It's completely centered around like embracing baldness. Did you make it to Ketchikan, says Maxine? 3 times. 3 times. 3 port visits to Ketchikan. Is the Wi-Fi decent on board for trading? So I would say if you go to a ship that has Starlink, you'll probably be okay. On a Trans-Pacific or Transatlantic, it could get sketchy when you're out in the middle of the ocean. But it was decent. I mean, I manage my portfolio. I'm not a trader, but I manage my portfolio at sea. I made trades. I, did everything I need to do at sea. So. Henry says, Kevin, I know you mentioned your travel plans for the next year or so, but it would truly be awesome for you to do van life in Canada. I would love to do van life in Canada. It's definitely on my bucket list. I'm not sure when it's going to actually happen, but it's definitely on my bucket list. Finn West says, good morning, Kevin, just tuned in. Welcome back to the Land of Smiles. Will you host any meetups? Usually I just piggyback onto someone else. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know I hate planning stuff. Like, I hate it. I hate scheduling stuff. I just like doing what I want to do when I want to do it. And so usually I just piggyback on somebody else's meetup. And I know I'm getting together with a couple different YouTubers, and I'll see if they're doing meetups, and I'll let you guys know. So, but I don't like organizing stuff like that. Do you have any anxiety around your teeth? Like feel the new teeth in your mouth? I'm asking because my sister had similar work that took her a year to get used to. So it's honestly, they're doing such a good job. Like every time I go in, like they make small adjustments to like the bite level, the length of these front teeth. When you watch the video recap of all my dental work, you'll see like the very first iteration is very toothy. It does take a little bit getting used to. These are temporary veneers, though. Understand that they're a little bit beefier than the regular veneers you're going to get, especially the first iteration of your temporary crowns and veneers, because they haven't done all the shaving of your teeth, so there's still more of your original teeth there, so they're a little bit beefier in your mouth. But they're also trying to figure out like what's going to look good. That's what I like about this dental clinic here is they're very cognizant of that. And I remember I went in and I said, hey, I think my front teeth are a little bit long, and so they adjusted them, and they just looked way better. So yeah. But yeah, it's eating takes some getting used to. I don't know what it's going to be like with the permanent veneers, but you know, it's so early. It's like you have something on your teeth. And so eating is, I would tell someone that maybe was just doing it for cosmetic reasons, that maybe hold off for a while, because it will change the way it feels to eat. I don't have my final crowns, so let me make that determination once I get them, because these are temporary and it's different. But it does change the way it feels to eat, and it changes that experience. So. John says, good morning from Melbourne. I'll be in Tong Lo next month for a month. Will we ever see that long overdue video collab with Mr. Brett Dev? Hopefully. I think Brett Dev's still up in Chiang Mai. Man, I'm having a brain fart on. There's a couple YouTubers that have reached out to me, Eager Expat, and Forrest Lee is a friend of mine, military buddy of mine. And I'm sure I will hang out with Forrest. I'm not hanging out with anybody until I get this dental work done, because, I mean, it's literally, sometimes it's back-to-back appointments, back-to-back days, and I'm just not up for it. Once I get my final veneers and all the adjustments done, then maybe I'll do some stuff like that. But right now, I'm just staying in shape, enjoying Thai food, and getting this dental work done, because again, it's a full mouth restoration, 22 crowns, 6 veneers, every tooth is getting worked on. I only needed 1 root canal, thank God. But yeah, so it's a lot of dental work, and I'm just not really up for socializing right now until all that stuff's done, to be honest with you. But I will probably be, I'm sure I'll do something with Forrest. I think Retired Working for You is actually interested in the dental work I'm getting done, because a lot of people come to Thailand and get a crown or a veneer or you know, something like that, but not a lot of people come and get full mouth restoration, you know, $20,000 worth of dental work, not 20,000 total, but close to it. So yeah, no bridges for me. I don't need any bridges. My teeth were actually pretty healthy. The only reason I needed a root canal was because I had cracked a tooth when I was younger, and it still had cracks in it. There wasn't a cavity impacting the root at all. It was just they needed to do a root canal so they could drill a post in there that'll hold my crown. The reason I'm getting all this dental work done is, over the years, my teeth have worn down because I had a severe overbite. I don't know if you remember, I don't know if you noticed it in my video, but my top teeth would completely cover my bottom teeth. And so my back teeth had worn down my front teeth over the years to almost translucent, where you could see through them. My doctor's name is Dr. Vichulada, Vichulada. Vichulada, that's my doctor. And that's my dentist. And she told me not to advertise them at all until I'm happy till everything is completely done. I'm not gonna get any kickbacks from them or anything like that. I'm just going, like, so far it's been an amazing experience. My doctor's been wonderful. I have no problem singing their praises, but even she was like, hey, wait till the final work is done before you say anything about us. Like, I want you to be completely happy before going out and advertising us. So how long will the veneers last? So crowns and veneers will last anywhere from 10 to 20 years. I'm getting the best crowns and I'm getting the best veneers. I'm getting Emax veneers, and I can't remember the name of the crowns, but they are zirconia. I can't remember the name of the crowns. Although the front crowns will be a mix of Emax and zirconia, which is, zirconia are super strong, which is why they do them on your back teeth. Since my front teeth were so worn down, I'm getting a mix of Emax and zirconia on the front teeth, and I'm getting Emax veneers. Emax are more aesthetically pleasing, but not as strong. Zirconia is super strong, but not as aesthetically pleasing. So I'm making a compromise on the front. I could have got Emax, but I decided to get the mix of Emax and zirconia. So a mix of strength and aesthetics. My dentist said, only dentists can tell the difference. She said, no one's gonna know the difference. So she said, when you go to a dentist, they'll be able to tell, but most people will not be able to tell. The only problem is trying to match the colors up. So that's why their dental artistry has work in store for them, getting them to match up correctly to the color that I want, which is this color actually. So I've tried a bunch of different colors, by the way. When you first get there, I got a whole video about this, but when you first get there, they put these temporary veneers on your mouth over your teeth without any work done. And it's like for 2 seconds. They want you to see, but you'll look super teethy because it's teeth on top of teeth, right? They haven't done any shaving, they haven't done anything to minimize the size of your own teeth, so there's not so much teeth in your mouth. So you're going to look horrible, and you'll see these pictures in my video that I'm gonna do. I'll show you these pictures. And I remember when I first got those, I'm like, I almost look like a horse, but it was just a general idea. And they did a certain color then, and then when they put the first temporary veneers, they put what's called natural color. And those are okay, but with my skin tone, so basically they try to match the white of your eyes. That's where it looks natural. When it's above the white of your eyes, the color of white is brighter than the white of your eyes, it starts to look unnatural. So they go by your skin tone. If you have darker skin tone, you don't want them to be so white because they'll be super noticeable. But because I have a relatively medium skin tone, I can go a little bit brighter, and I also have bright white eyes, like the balls of my eyes or whatever. Not the balls, the stuff that's not my eyeball. Well, I guess it is my eyeball, but you know what I mean. Not the cornea or whatever, the iris. So they try to match your teeth with that, and that's what this color is. I could go much brighter, much whiter. They are super bleachy looking. And I always think of the episode of Friends where Ross gets his teeth bleached and they glow in the dark, and I did not want that. So, okay, I'm jumping back in here. Sorry, I'm so far behind here. Where can I get a link for the phone wallet medallion that you use? So it's in my last video, that Q&A I did. I put it down there because I knew people would ask. And it's also in the video I did, like 6 things that you didn't know you need for cruising or something like that. It's in that one as well. But yeah, it's on my very last video that I did, last video I put out. There's a link to it in there because I mentioned it in there. As a tourist, how long can you stay in Thailand? So they just changed how long you can stay in Thailand. I think it's 60 days on a tourist visa now, and it's much easier to get a longer visa now. But I think it's 60 days visa on arrival now, which is great. Used to be 30 days and you could extend it up to 90 days, but now I think it's 60 and you can extend it to 90. So you get 60 right when you fly in. I have a Thai Elite visa, so I get a year stamp. So I get a year. And then I just have to leave for a day and I can come back and get another year. Or I can stay and just have them renew the one. But I paid $30,000 for that. And the visa I have now, so they changed the price of the visa I have, the 20-year. Now it's, I think, 30, 60, 90. It's $150,000. So when people were giving me crap about paying $30,000 for a 20-year visa, now it's $150,000. So I think I got a bargain. Going to Harmony of the Seas, that's awesome. I'm going to be doing some cruising out of Singapore once my teeth get done. So I'll be doing some Royal Caribbean because there's a Royal Caribbean ship that sails out of Singapore. Any recommendations for what to do on the first day instead of the casino? Ooh, I mean, check out music. Royal has some great entertainment on board, some great acts. So check out some entertainment. That's what I would do. With the exception of Cunard, who do transatlantics almost year-round on the Queen Mary 2 between Southampton and UK? That's a good point. I don't understand that question. Will you be trying Amtrak? Yeah, I definitely want to do Amtrak travel. I love the YouTube channel Grounded Life Finances, but they also have some other channels, Grounded Life Travel and Grounded Life Trains, maybe is what it's called. And they do a lot of train travel. They do a lot of Amtrak travel. And so I definitely want to do some Amtrak travel. I love it. I used to ride the Amtrak from DC to New York all the time, the Acela, and I loved it. I love being on the Amtrak. Kevin, do you have any good recommendations for Tong Lo, Ekamai area gym memberships? I don't, because I've never lived in Tong Lo or Ekamai. I've lived in On Nut, so I do not. But go check out Forrest Lee's YouTube channel. He has a lot of information about Tong Lo and Ekamai. That's usually where he lives. Living her best life, solo life and travel. You changed the name of your channel. What are you doing with that channel? I gotta go check it out. Are you making videos or what? Good to catch you live. You can do a Trans-Pacific on AIDA to Vancouver, hop in a van to St. John's, Newfoundland, and ferry around Greenland. I like that, Lynn. I really like that. They were in Cebu. Yeah, I mean, Cebu is like the Pattaya of Philippines. I like Jomtien. I'm not a big fan of Pattaya. I'm just not a nightlife person, and Pattaya's culture is just a nightlife culture. So I'm not a big fan of Pattaya, and so I'm sure I wouldn't be a big fan of Cebu either, which is more of a it's more of a nightlife culture. I just don't do nightlife. I get up at 4 a.m., I do my 20,000 steps, I eat Thai food all day, I enjoy the daytime, and I go to bed early. I'm like a 90-year-old man. So those places just don't have a lot of appeal to me anymore. When I was younger, I loved them. They're like the Vegas. Pattaya is like the Vegas of Thailand. It's like Sin City. It's great. I'm just past that point in my life. And I'm not judging people that like it. I mean, dude, you do you, but don't judge me for living like a 90-year-old man and going to bed at 9 p.m. every night and getting up at 4 in the morning to go walk. I'm a big fan of both you and Forrest Lee. There seems to be a new up-and-coming Thailand vlogger called Paulie. Yeah, Paulie is great. He doesn't know me from Adam, but I watch a lot of his videos. So yeah, that's another good recommendation, Paul Lee, if you want to find out stuff about Tong Lo and Ekamai. He's got some great stuff. Yeah, Paul Lee is great. I really like his YouTube channel. Any bridges? No, I did not have to get any bridges. What's the doctor's name? Dr. Vichulata. When will you do Virgin Voyages? I need to do Virgin Voyages. I hear nothing but good things about them. It was really hard to get them to fit into my schedule. I think they only have 2 or 3 ships. So I need to, yeah. Oh. Let's see. When do you expect altcoin season? So you're probably asking about cryptocurrency. I don't know. I'm not an expert on altcoins. I'm just kind of a Bitcoin guy, like a small percentage of my portfolio. But Yeah, so I'm not like huge on alts, to be honest with you. Just Ethereum, maybe. We need more cruise vlogs. You should do video series living on a cruise ship. I have a bunch of videos about living on a cruise ship, trading for science. I did that all last year. I lived on nothing but cruise ships last year. Is it okay to see outside your window? You're only going to see like Rama 9. Rama 9. Yeah, that's Rama 9 right there. That's where my dental clinic is. For those that just joined, I'm right next to my dental clinic that I'm using in a hotel that's in the exact same building. So I wouldn't normally stay here, but I'm glad I did. It's right next to a place called The Street, and it's a place with food, shopping, grocery store. There's a food land right, like a 2-minute walk from where I'm at, which is great to have a food land there, and it's open 24/7. There was already a lot of Starbucks in Thailand last time I was here. There is literally a Starbucks every 300 feet on Rama 9. I mean, there's a Starbucks across from the Starbucks. It's like New York City. I mean, literally there's a Starbucks across from the Starbucks, across that street you just saw. And then walk for 3 minutes and there's another Starbucks. And walk another 3 minutes and there's another Starbucks. At one of the MRT stations that is next to a mall, there's a Starbucks next to a Starbucks. I mean, you can throw your Starbucks and hit the other Starbucks. I cannot believe how many Starbucks there are. So, you mentioned you caught your prostate cancer in Thailand. Did you have it treated there, or did you go back to the U.S.? I had prostate surgery, not for cancer, in Malaysia. It was excellent. So yeah, so I'm retired military, so I have virtually free healthcare. And I'm from St. Louis, which has one of the best prostate treatment centers in the country, called Stiteman. And so I went back to the United States to get it treated, but I would have been perfectly comfortable getting it treated in Malaysia, to be honest with you. How I caught it is, so in the United States, they don't check you for prostate cancer until you're 50. I went to a Thailand men's health. So prostate cancer runs in my family. My grandfather's had it 3 times. He's in his 90s. He's beat it all 3 times. But I knew it ran in my family. And so I got one of those men's health checkups. And it's called your PSA levels. Mine was through the roof. It was very minor. It was like a microscopic almost. Again, my doctor said I could live 20, 30 years, maybe 40 years without ever getting it treated. But I was like, nah, let's just get rid of it. So yeah, I'm in the Army. What branch were you in? I was in the Navy for 20 years. So I did get loaned out to the Army for a year. I was with the 82nd Airborne in Iraq. So I do have Army time. I actually wore an Army uniform. And yeah, so I spent a good amount of time with the Army. Actually, a little bit over a year, because I went to Camp McCready in Georgia to get some Army training. It was weird being a Navy guy with Navy enlisted rank in an Army uniform. Confused the heck out of the soldiers. Kevin, after a 1-month trip to BKK, I want to visit somewhere else for a month, but nowhere seems to compare in terms of combo of safety, food, transportation. Can anywhere beat BKK? If you're talking in Thailand, I would say Pattia's got a pretty good infrastructure because there's so many people there. Hoi Hin doesn't have, it's not as, it's like a lazy beach town. Phuket's more spread out. But if you're talking other places, Kuala Lumpur, I love. A lot of expats don't like Kuala Lumpur because the Muslim culture frowns on alcohol. Alcohol is more expensive there. But if you're not a partier, it doesn't matter. Like, to me, it doesn't matter that alcohol is more expensive there and it's harder to get. Like, that doesn't matter to me. I don't drink. So I really like Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. It's an amazing city. Check out BGC Manila if you want an amazing Western experience, but also a experience being in Asia, I think BGC is a good training wheels place. Just booked my second transatlantic with NCL. I think I'm hooked. Yeah, NCL is so great for solo travelers. It really is. It's probably my favorite solo travel cruise experience. I just could never find good deals, and I was getting such good deals from Princess that I stuck with Princess. Travel Asia with Ali. That's right. Ali has her own channel. She's from Grounded Life Finances, by the way. I want to stay in Koh Chang for 60 days. That'll be fun. Yeah, Koh Chang, that's a good spot. It's been a while since I've been there. Where are you at right now? I am in Bangkok, Thailand. Kevin, interesting you chose En Route. It's still very close enough to a lot of popular areas, but just far enough to be out of the thick of it. Yeah, I really like En Route. My next place I'm going to be staying here in Bangkok is True Digital Park, which I think is I can't remember the name, how to say the name of the BTS station that's there, but it's past En Route. And I'm just really interested in that work, life, play community they've developed there. And so I'll be there, but I can still hop on a BTS and be in the heart of everything. But to be honest with you, almost everywhere in Bangkok is a lot of action. Like it just is. Even En Route is busy. Like En Route's pretty busy, in my opinion. Do you have any plans to do RCL Utopia of the Seas or Virgin's new ship departing San Juan? Yeah, definitely. Cruising is going to be part of my travel life. It just has to be where I'm at. There's a lot of cruises out of Singapore. I'm going to take a Trans-Pacific from Asia back probably around April timeframe, back from Asia to the United States. So I'll be in Asia until probably April. Kevin, I was thinking of digital nomading in major Latin city of Santiago. Seems to be the safest, but still sounds like you can take your phone out, need to be indoors. So I would not say Santiago is the safest. I lived in Santiago for a month. I traveled with that group program called Remote Year, where we lived in a different country every 30 days with the same 35 people. It's the only place my group experienced crime. Multiple people got their phones snatched, and one guy got beat up and robbed. I wouldn't say it's unsafe. He was coming home at 3 in the morning from a club, a little bit drunk. So like if you don't put yourself, not that it was his fault, but if you don't put yourself in positions, if you don't have your phone out, like it's perfectly safe. I never had any issue there. But again, I'm at home at 9 p.m., so it wasn't an issue for me. But I wouldn't say it's the safest. I'd say Medellin, Colombia is safer. I would say Mexico City is safer if you're in the right neighborhoods. I would say Costa Rica is safer. I think there's a lot of places that are safer than Santiago, Chile. Now, Santiago gives you the most European feel, if that's what you're looking for. I enjoyed Santiago, don't get me wrong. I really liked it. But the statement you made was that it's one of the safer cities, and I would disagree with that. Just from my own personal experience. Maybe statistically that's what it says, but it's the only places any of my group got robbed, and we lived in a different country every 30 days, and it's the only place anyone got mugged. So, and there was one time where I was out and I felt really uncomfortable. And that was the only place that we went to that I felt that way. So I would say there's definitely places. There's neighborhoods in Mexico City that are amazing, that you won't have any problem with, like Roma, places like that. And Medellin, Colombia, I thought was completely safe. So, yeah. Do you ever have fear of not having a home base? Nah, I mean, if I want a home base, I can make a home base. Like I have a Thai Elite visa. I'm planning on getting a retirement visa in the Philippines. So I'll have places that I can stay long term if I decide I want to do that. My mom will let me stay with her anytime I like. She loves having me. I own a house. I rent it out. If I wanted to make that house my home base, I could. I've been thinking about buying a condo in Galveston, Texas, which is a cruise port. I've been thinking about getting one right down there in the Strand where I could just walk to cruises, maybe as a future home base. But I don't like staying anywhere long term. So the idea of a home base doesn't make a lot of sense for me, just to be honest with you. Any night markets or food scene you're into? Will you take us for walks with you? Yeah, so live streaming in public used to be a big thing in Thailand, but now it's kind of frowned upon. Like people just don't want to be in your live stream. And so it's a little bit more difficult, and I'm very cognizant of that kind of thing. But yeah, I'll try to where it's a little bit more acceptable. I mentioned I'm staying on Rama 9. It's about an hour walk to Asok BTS, now about 45-minute walk to Asok BTS. That's how far down Rama I'm at. And there's a place called The Street, right where I'm at, which is a very modern place. But they have an outdoor market there, which is awesome. And yeah, it's just a really cool little vibey place. They have live music there. It's a really interesting place. So maybe I'll show you that. Is Latin America just completely off limits for big city stays? No, I don't think that's the case. I love big cities there. Someone says Starbucks rocks. I wish they were on princess ships. They're not on princess ships, but they are on Royal Caribbean ships, Captain Photon. They do have Starbucks coffee on those. I still won't pay $12 for a coffee. The good thing is in Thailand, it's $4 for a Starbucks coffee. Well, that's like a very fancy large coffee, like a salted caramel, mocha, creme brulee, nitro coffee, right? That'll be $4 to $5. If you just get a normal cup of coffee, it's like $2. But you can get much cheaper coffee at like Cafe Amazon or the mom and pop places. So there's a lot of, I'm starting to see a lot of, what is that Canadian coffee place? Tony, oh God, what's that Canadian coffee place? Tony something. I'm seeing a lot of those around, the Canadian one, and they're a little bit cheaper than Tim Hortons. I kept saying Tony. I'm starting to see Tim Hortons around Bangkok, and they're a little bit cheaper than Starbucks, but not that much cheaper. Cafe Amazon is half the price of Starbucks, and then the mom and pop places are a third the price. So. Yeah. We spent 6 weeks in Jomtien, loved it. We were returning in February for 60 days. We stayed at the Copacabana. How was that? I'm thinking about at some point coming back and renting. So in the Copacabana, which is a big apartment complex, they actually have 1-bedroom condos in there that have indoor pools, actually indoor-outdoor pools that are in your condo, and they run to the balcony, so they're like part of your balcony. And I've been thinking about renting one of those. I could get it for about $3,000 for the month, which is super expensive in Pattaya, or in Jomtien. But you have amazing ocean view and your own little private pool in your apartment. And I thought it would be cool to do that for a month. So I'm not going to Pattaya on this trip. Maybe down there for a day or two to see some friends down to Pattaya and Jomtien. But I'll be in Bangkok. But maybe I'll come back and rent that place. I would love to rent one of those at Copacabana. I'm going to sound pathetic here, but I'm terrified of needles, blood tests, checkups, which is preventing me from getting regular checkups. What would you do in my position? Just go. Like go to places that are reputable, and dental and medical tourism, it's much more like going to a 5-star hotel than it is going to a doctor like it is in the United States. So that's what I would recommend. Just go give it a try. Out of all the places you want, where would you live permanently? The idea of living anywhere permanently just is my worst nightmare. I love being nomadic. I changed my profile on YouTube to global expat. I'm not really a digital nomad. I would consider myself like a global expat. I like living out of the US. I like living in foreign countries, but I only like staying in places for 30 to 60 days. That doesn't mean I won't stay in a country for longer, but maybe I'll live in Bangkok for 60 days, then Chiang Mai for 60 days, then Phuket for 60 days, stuff like that. So the longest place I'm staying on this trip is BGC, Philippines, for a little bit over 90 days. I figure if I want to do my retirement visa there, that I'm going to need a little bit of time. So that's why I'm staying there. Plus, the time I'm there is around the holiday time. And if you've never been to Christmas in the Philippines, nobody does Christmas like the Philippines. Most Filipinos are hardcore Catholic, and they literally Christmas trees go up August, September timeframe. It is a Christmas culture there. And so I'll be there during Christmas and New Year's, which I really enjoy the Philippines during Christmas because they take it to another level. It's like wackadoodle level, but in a good way. Kevin, I really missed your live streams. Questions about packing. Are you still using the Nomadic 20-liter/30-liter backpack for Asia? So I still have the level 8 because I haven't been back home. When I go back home, I will switch. For those that don't know, I have this thing linked. I love this thing. This is my level 8 carry-on only. I carry on, everyone's letting me carry it on. I love this thing. I always said I wouldn't advertise stuff I haven't used for a while. I've been using it for a year, and I love it. The thing I really love about it are the wheels. So the wheels work so well that when you're in an airport and you're walking around, your bag just goes by itself. It's not even, you don't even have to do the pull thing. You can just put your hand here and just walk. And it's like I just spin it around like this the whole time as I'm walking, and it just glides through the airport. And I really like it. So I don't know if I'm going to give it up. I don't know if I'm going to go back to a backpack, but maybe when I'm home, I'll switch back to my Nomadic. It kind of looks big, but it's actually pretty small, this thing. It's probably 45 liter maybe. So a little bit bigger than my backpack can get, hold a little bit more. And I haven't had any trouble getting it on carry-on, but I always fly business class, and they usually don't give you crap when you fly business class. So you might have some trouble with some Asian airlines getting that on, and European airlines, if you're not flying business class. So not to sound elitist or anything like that. Did you end up selling your Porter 30? I still have my Osprey Porter 30 as well. I just like the Nomadic better because it's a lower profile and it holds the same amount of stuff. So, but I do still have it. It's just sitting in I have a little box of stuff at my mother's house, and that's one of the things in it. Traveling solo, don't you feel lonely sometimes? Check out I have tons of videos on being lonely and traveling, like loneliness. Also, check out a video called Happier Alone, and that'll kind of answer your question. Being alone doesn't bother me. I'm an introvert. When I took the Myers-Briggs survey, you're usually on a spectrum of introversion. I'm almost as introvert as you could be. So being alone doesn't bother me at all, to be honest with you. If I was in a cabin in the middle of the woods, would I get lonely sometimes? Yes. Do I like socializing with people? Yes. Does it bother me to be alone long periods of time? No, it does not. So, yeah. So loneliness isn't really an issue for me. And I know some people aren't like that, and they need to have constant stimulation from others, and that's just not me. But check out that video, Happier Alone. It'll explain a lot about personality types like mine. Kevin, I'm thinking about BGC in Manila in the future. Sounds like my kind of place to stay. Many people say to get out of Manila as soon as you land, but it sounds like BGC is an outlier. Yeah, I mean, BGC is like the Beverly Hills of Manila. And I know it sounds like a little bit elitist, but watch like the channel Mom Duty. Like there's a lot of families moving there, and I'm not a, I don't want this to sound negative, but I'm not a Pattaya person. And like, I'm not a nightlife person. I like the more family-oriented persons. I like the places with the nice places to eat, but also have the mom and pop places. I like the places with nice gyms, with a lot of fitness-oriented stuff like tracks and very walkable sidewalks. That's the stuff that's important to me, not the nightlife. And so I really like BGC. It's a very like, it's a place that if you had, you know, kids, you could raise them there and feel completely comfortable. And I just like that kind of place. Captain Photon says Galveston is great. Grew up in the Houston area. All the ship companies will be there soon. Yeah, I really like Galveston. Plus, you know, living in Texas as a veteran, you get a lot of benefits. Can you share a little bit about how the questions are presented to you in the chat and how you keep track of them? So usually I just use my phone and I'm doing doing that. But right now I am using my iPad, and yeah, and my iPad is almost like a laptop. You know, I have this thing, and yeah, so that's how I'm tracking the questions on here. Some people use StreamYard. I used to use it. It's much easier to keep track of questions, but I'm lazy. Kevin, I noticed Blackpink is playing almost 100% of the time when I walk into Starbucks in BKK. Has that been your experience? I don't even know what Blackpink is. I should look that up. What do you do for currency, cash, credit on a daily basis? So most places throughout the world now have touch, you know. So sometimes I need to whip out my credit card and do the chip. None of them do Stripe anymore overseas. Only the US will you find Stripes. You have to have the chip. And I mean, that's better anyway because they don't get your credit card number. But most of the time I can just do my phone with the contactless thing. Like a lot of places won't even let you pay with cash anymore ever since COVID. So it's all touchless. I do take out money from the ATM when I get to a place, especially a place I know like Thailand where I know I'll need cash. But like next I'll be in Malaysia, and Malaysia has Apple Pay. So I know like I'll be fine there. Thailand does not have Apple Pay, but you can still pay contactless with the Apple Pay on places that do the, you know, the hands-free or whatever, where you tap your card, do the tap. Most of them you can pay with the tap on your phone. So I just use that. Like 99% of what I do is with tap on my phone. I buy a lot of food from street vendors and especially a lot of fruit. And so I do have to get cash. Although a lot of them will do contactless, but you have to have like the Thai bank contactless. They still don't have Apple Pay here. Kevin, will you be doing any collabs with Chocolate Man in Thailand? I remember watching one of your live streams when you were walking along the beach and randomly joined and appeared by surprise. Yeah, you know, if I see him anywhere, definitely. We haven't made any plans. We've been chatting back and forth with one another like we always do. We're friends. I'm not going down to, probably not going down to Pattaya. Maybe I'll go down there, I don't know, for a day or two, but I don't have anything booked. And then I go to Kuala Lumpur. So maybe if he comes up here to Bangkok, or if I go down there for a couple of days, I'm sure we'll run into each other. What credit cards gives you that upgrade, says Brian Wilson. So I use Chase Sapphire Reserve. You know, do your research. There's a link down below for it in the description of this video. It's what I've used for years. I built up a ton of credit card points. I put all my spend on it. And like I put my dental work on it. So I'm getting a ton of points from that. That'll be some business class flight. But yeah, I've been doing that. Also, you get Priority Pass, which is lounges and airports, which in Asia, the lounges are amazing. You know, if you drink alcohol, you can drink as much alcohol as you want in the lounge. Free food. Same thing in the States, you get free food, Cokes and stuff. They just don't have alcohol in the States. But in Asia, they're fully stocked and it's great. Kevin, you are elite, but not an elitist. Yeah. I mean, I used to do all the budget stuff. Like, I know I'm going to get a lot of crap because I'm staying in Airbnbs in very upscale buildings and neighborhoods for most of this year. And I know I'm going to get a lot of crap for it because it's more expensive. But I mean, I'm staying at True Digital Park, which is an amazing community there. And my Airbnb is $900 for the month, which is a lot in Thailand. But if I signed a long-term lease in that same apartment, it would be $450. So, but I know I'm gonna get a lot of crap. But that's how I travel. I travel with Airbnb. I'm not signing long-term leases, so it's more expensive. But I'm also staying in prime locations. Like in BGC, I'm staying in Uptown, and that's the prime location. I think my condo there is like $1,200 a month or $1,300 a month. If I rented it long term, it would be about $700 a month. So, you know, the Airbnb is going to be about double what I would pay if I rented it long term. But with Airbnb, I don't have to sign a lease. It includes utilities, everything, you know, all that stuff. In Malaysia, I'm staying in 2 different spots, one in M City. One of my places is $600 for the month, which is right in the heart of Kuala Lumpur. And then my other one is in M City. And that one's a little bit more expensive, but it's a more upscale building, but not that much more expensive. But I did find Airbnbs in Kuala Lumpur that were nice for $300 for the month, which is super inexpensive. So, for an Airbnb especially. What monthly budget do you give yourself? So I don't really have a budget, to be honest with you. I make enough money from my military retirement, investments. I'm a big dividend stock investor. Everyone always says it's my military retirement where most of my money comes from. They think it's not. Most of my money comes from, you know, I have a rental property that I rent out, a lake house, that's fully paid off. I have dividend income that I've been building up for 30 years. And also my YouTube channel makes money. My YouTube channel makes more money than my military retirement. Which is crazy because I don't make a lot of videos, but a lot of my old videos get a lot of views. So it's not that I have an unlimited budget, but I could spend a lot. I could spend a lot of money a month and be fine. But to be honest with you, I'm one of those people that prefer studio apartments, and they just usually end up being cheaper. I like to stay in really nice buildings in studio apartments. Sometimes I'm forced to be in a 1-bedroom, which I don't like. I'd rather have a big open space than a small, you know, space with walls. Like my friend Johnny FD, he doesn't like having his bed in the same room as his living room, and I get that. But I am a product of 20 years of military training, and I get up every morning and make my bed. Like housekeeping hasn't been here yet, and my bed's made, right? I get up every morning to make my bed anyway, so it's not like I have an unmade bed, which would drive me nuts. So I prefer living in studios, which are generally cheaper. So if you've been following my channel for a while, you know I usually spend $2,000 to $3,000 a month, even when I try to spend more. Even when I was cruising full time, you know, the most I think I spent was maybe $4,000 for a month, and that's when I was like staying in NCL studios and all that kind of stuff. I don't try to not spend money. I eat out every meal. I eat at nice places. I went to a nice khao soi place here yesterday. You know, I don't skimp on anything. And I still, especially when I'm in Asia, I still don't spend more than $3,000 a month. If I was up in Chiang Mai renting long term, living La Vida Loca, I would probably spend $2,000 max, because my apartment would be $400 a month in a very nice building with a pool and a gym. And yeah, this year I'm trying to spend more on Airbnbs. Like I mentioned BGC, I think my Airbnb is $1,200 or $1,300 a month. But I guarantee you I'll still be under $3,000 a month, because I don't drink alcohol, which is a big budget item for a lot of people. And so, Yeah, I mean, and I eat out every meal, and I eat a lot of Western food. I probably eat 50% Thai, 50% Western. So I'm going and eating Western food. I'm eating pizza. I'm eating hamburgers. I'm eating Taco Bell. You know, California burritos at Taco Bell in Thailand are amazing. You know, chicken and avocado, they're really good. So I'm not trying to skimp, but I even when I try to spend a lot of money, I don't end up spending a lot of money. So if I end up staying in Pattaya in that apartment with the pool, that'll up my budget because it'll be 2,500 to 3,000 a month. So. Where are you getting your health checkup in Kuala Lumpur? Let me try to remember the name of it. Prince Court Medical. Prince Court Medical is where I'm getting it. And I always forget the name. I've been there a few times. It's great. It's almost completely medical tourism there, or very rich Malaysians, and the customer service there is amazing. If you follow Grounded Life Finances, that's where Ali had her surgery, where she had to get all the fibroids cut out of her, and it's just a great place. So let's see. Oh, where will you stay when you're getting your health checkup in KP? So I'm staying in 2 different Airbnbs, one in like right in the heart of everything in KL, and then one in M City. And yeah. Kevin, do you know the YouTuber Tyrish Times? He interviews people who live in Bangkok. Would you ever collab? I think I have watched some of his videos, actually, some of his interviews. I mean, if he reached out to me and said, hey, I'll interview you, I'm perfectly fine with it. I'd have to look at his channel. You know, I don't mean this in like a negative way, but I just don't want to be on YouTube channels that are about more of the seedy expat travel life. And I'm not judging that, like you do you. Like, God knows I was in the Navy for 20 years. And when I was in my early 20s, I was coming to all these places with infamous red light districts. And, I'm not casting stones. It's just not something that I want to be associated with. So I don't know what his channel is about, but if it's about like the nightlife in Bangkok, like Soy Cowboy and stuff like that, I probably wouldn't. But if it's just about like what is expat life, like global expat life, and wanted to do interviews about that stuff, I would have no problem with that. Do you get a lot of issues with your cards thinking your purchases are fraudulent? No, I mean, Chase Sapphire Reserve is a travel credit card. They kind of know people are going to be traveling, and my history probably shows them that I've had that card since 2018, and I've traveled full time since 2019. You used to be able to let them know where you're traveling, but then they got rid of it. They're like, don't even let us know. Like, if you're traveling, you're traveling. I have my Chase, almost everything I have is on the Chase app now. I even moved most of my investment accounts over there. And I have it set up where I get notifications. So every time I do an international charge, I get a little pop-up on my phone. So if someone did do something like that, actually every time I get a charge over 0.01 penny, I get a notification. So even if someone did it in the US, I would get notified. I've never had anything fraudulent happen. I've been traveling since 2019. I've traveled in some places that people think are seedy, and I've never had an issue with credit cards. Most of the world is on tap now, and they don't even get your credit card number. If you're using the chip, they don't get your credit card number. If you're sliding, they can get your credit card number, but only the US is the only place that still does sliding for the most part. Anywhere you are in Europe, anywhere you are in Asia, it's almost always chip. And chip, they don't get your credit card number. And tap, they don't get anything. So that's why I love tap. Where will you stay when you're getting your, oh, I already answered that one. If you like soccer, Thailand versus Singapore World Cup qualifying matches tomorrow, I'll watch that for sure. I'm not going to fly there and watch it live, but I will. Oh, it's in BKK. That's awesome. I will that'd be a cool experience to see how Thais root for their football team. Is the age of cruise ship an important criteria for you? And do you change your cruise plans based on ship reviews? So, no. Well, I would say in a little bit it is, but not in the way you think. The older the cruise ship, usually the cheaper the cruise. And a lot of the older cruise ships are smaller, so you can go to places that bigger, newer cruise ships cannot go. Like for instance, if you're going on Norwegian Fjord cruise or Iceland, a circumnavigation of Iceland, you want to be on a small, older ship because they're going to get to go to the towns that the big ships can't go to because they're too big. And some of the Norwegian fjords don't even allow the big ships, even if they could make it through. So smaller ships are better for a lot of different reasons. There's also less people on board and they're cheaper. So I wouldn't say necessarily that factors in, but you do find cheaper cruises. So I actually tend to be on older ships, to be honest with you. Not that I don't like newer ships, but I just tend to be on older ships because it's cheaper. Do you change your cruise plans based on ship reviews? No, not really. I mean, I'm a little bit of an odd duck, and so sometimes things that people don't like, I like. And so I don't usually go with the reviews. Nomad Jim says, awesome, you're getting your health checkup at Prince Court. Yeah, definitely Prince Court. I'm excited about it. That's where I do mine annually and where I had my prostate surgery last year. Very cool. What's the quality dental work in Thailand? Any tips for someone needing implants? So Sony, do your research, obviously, but to me, the dentistry in Thailand is one of the best in the world. It is right up there with any of the top places, especially when you're going to the clinics that focus on dental tourism. Their whole business model relies on word of mouth from other expats. And so look for a place that specializes in that. In my dental clinic, I'm Bangkok International Dental Clinic. My dentist went to University of Michigan for restorative dentistry for 2 years. So she has a degree from a US dental place. She speaks perfect English and she's been amazing. It's been the best dental experience of my life, and I'm getting 22 crowns and 6 veneers. If you're just joining the channel, I'm in here in Thailand getting a bunch of dental work. I will be releasing a video that details every day of this dental journey over here because it's basically a month-long process when you do a completely mouth restoration like I'm getting. And right now I have temporary veneers in, if you haven't noticed, or temporary crowns on the top, temporary crowns on the back, and temporary veneers on the front bottom teeth. I had a severe overbite that my bottom teeth had worn my top teeth very thin, which is why I'm getting crowns on the front teeth instead of veneers. Most people would get veneers, but mine were worn down so bad I wasn't a good candidate for veneers. So I'm getting crowns up front. That's why I'm getting so many crowns. Most people get, half crowns, half veneers, veneers on the front, crowns in the back. But I'm getting full crowns on the top and then crowns in the back on the bottom and veneers on my front 6 teeth. So it's going to cost me, I've already spent $16,000 on the work, which includes the price of all the final veneers. There'll still be a little bit more cost associated, but full mouth restoration, 22 crowns, 6 veneers. I also had to get a jaw buildup because my overbite was so bad, so they had to build up my back teeth, which adds a lot more money. I had to get 1 root canal, and so I've paid a little bit over $16,000 so far, which includes the final price of the actual veneers and the crowns. I will be doing a video that details every single day. Every single day I get back from the dentist and my mouth, the numbness goes away. I sit down, I do a video that details the work I had done that day, some video I took, nothing that'll gross you out, some pictures of like the difference from last time, and a detailed cost explanation. And each day I have a running total of the cost. And it's going to be a long video because it details what I had done every single day. But at the end, I'm going to do a summary of, before and after pictures, what I had done and what it cost with a final. And so you'll be able to just fast forward to that summary if that's all you care about. If you don't care about like what it's like to get a root canal here, or what it's like to get a back teeth buildup, or what the individual appointments were like, what the individual charges were, things like that. So, yeah. Kevin, can you talk about city and place where you felt unsafe while you were doing van life? I never felt unsafe anywhere doing van life, to be honest with you. I mean, sometimes I was in Walmart parking lots that were a little sketch, but other than that, I always looked for spots that were out in the middle of nowhere, where basically there was nobody or only a few campers. So I never felt uncomfortable. Is it monsoon season in Thailand now? Yeah, but you know what? It's only really rained one day since I've been here. It hasn't really hit us yet, but I'm one of those weird people that likes monsoon season. I love the rain, and it's one of the reasons I mentioned I'm staying at True Digital Park. Google it. It's where I'm staying next month here in Thailand. One of the reasons I'm staying there is the whole True Digital Park complex has a track that runs around the outside of it. It's like round, and it's covered. So during monsoon season, I'll still be able to get my 20,000 steps a day without having to worry about, planning around the rain. But usually it doesn't rain early in the mornings during monsoon season, and I get up super early and do my 20,000 steps. So it hasn't been an issue for me. But yeah, monsoon season just started here. But I haven't noticed it because it's only really rained, downpoured one day. Do you have any idea what a single implant costs there? I don't. But number one, I'm at the most expensive dental clinic in Thailand. It's going to be cheaper in other dental clinics in Thailand. I just really like the reputation of the place, the quality of customer service. It's a 2-year warranty on the work. But if you go to Bangkok International Dental Clinic right now, just search it. They'll have prices of everything in there, and you can just do the conversion, the Thai baht conversion. So. Smaller, older ships are the best, so you get the historic locks for the Panama Canal. Definitely true. Booked the Norwegian Jade. I saw the Norwegian Jade when I did my Panama Canal cruise. Got a really good deal. Tampa to Alaska. That is freaking awesome. 32 days. Norwegian is so much fun. I think the teeth content you put out will be priceless for many. I bet you see a lot of new subscribers for that. Yeah, I'm hoping. I mean, I never know what's going to be successful on YouTube. What I think is successful isn't, and what I think is not going to be successful is. It's always hit or miss. Like I did a video, my most successful cruise video was one about a month and a half ago, where I detailed every cost for the month of living on a cruise ship. And I just did that because someone requested it. And I've done cost of living videos before in other countries, and they just didn't do very well. And I was like, I'll do it for this person, but they're a lot of work. And it blew up. And then I did another one for the next month, and it didn't do so well. So you just never know what's going to hit on YouTube. So I'm hoping this dental video hits because it's awesome to earn good money. But I just like documenting experiences, and I think this is one of those interesting experiences that people will like. It's going to be a long video. I've already done all the editing of it so far. It's already like 35 minutes long, but it really, every appointment I do, I've had like 7 or 8 appointments already. Every appointment I do, I detail, break it down, what it cost, what happened, show some pictures before and after. I've had 3 sets of temporary veneers on, all different colors, so you get to see the pictures of those. These are my latest ones. Like last set of crowns and veneers, I didn't have the bottom ones on. They just left my normal bottom teeth. And then you got an update with the bottom ones on, which are really straight. My bottom teeth before were really like, some were longer than others, really crooked looking. And now they're like straight. And then what's funny is all my teeth look exactly like my teeth before. They just look better, if that makes sense. Like they did a really good job of like improving my smile without changing the way I look, if that makes sense, right? I was really worried about looking different because, I was just really worried about looking like too different. And they did a really good job of like, my teeth look like my teeth did. They just look better. Like they're not chipped, they're not, they're the length they're supposed to be, after they've worn down or whatever. They're a pleasant, appealing color. And yeah, so. With all the traveling that you're doing, do you even have open spots left on your passport? So I just got a new passport. I always recommend people get the big passport instead of the little one, but I just got a brand new passport, so I have nothing but space. When you travel on a cruise ship, they don't stamp your passport. So I got no passport stamps cruising, other than England when I stayed there, because I stayed there for like 2 weeks in between a cruise. That's the only one I got, but not in my new passport. In my old passport, yeah. And I had the old small passport, now I have the new big passport. So I definitely recommend people get the big new passport. The only stamp in my passport right now is my Thai Elite visa, which is a 5-year visa. I have a 20-year, but they only put 5 years in at a time. So I have my Thai Elite visa and my 1-year Thailand stamp. That's it. That's all that's in there right now. Are you done with cruising for a while? No. I'll be taking a Trans-Pacific cruise at the end of my trip in Asia. So I plan on integrating cruising into my travel. I also will probably do some cruises out of Singapore next month because I want to, I'm only like 10 days away on Royal Caribbean from getting 4 free drinks a day, the free drink package, and I want to hit that level. And so there's a Royal Caribbean ship that cruises out of Singapore, so I'll probably be doing that. Kevin, do you think Germany gives the Philippines a run for its money in terms of Christmas decorations? I would say Germany does give it a run for the money as far as like in the moment Christmas, but the Philippines starts Christmas and like it's acceptable to put up a Christmas tree in August in the Philippines. Like it's crazy. Kevin, have you heard any news from Jason Faber? Is he still in Thailand? I think he's still in Thailand as far as I know. I know his background changed a little bit, but it still looks like a Thai apartment to me. But I'm not 100% sure if he's still in Chiang Mai. But I think he is. Are you put under anesthesia for your dental work? No, you can elect to have that, but I don't like doing that. I just put most of my sessions have been 2 hours. And so I'll put in a podcast, like I'll line up the podcast I want to listen to. I'll put in an earbud for a podcast. And they've done such a good job of numbing me, I haven't felt anything. And they put this little like bite thing in your jaw. And so it's not like my jaw has been worn out from trying to hold my mouth open or anything like that. I've even dozed off a couple times. It's been so comfortable. Favorite cruise line, why is it your favorite? I really like Princess. I just like the Princess experience. It's very laid back, there's less kids. I like the decor. I love the mattress. When I want to have a good time, I would say NCL, especially for a solo traveler. They have a lot of smaller venues, especially on their new ships, which I really enjoy. All right, I'm caught up on questions. If you have any, throw them out there, and I'll try to answer them for you. And if I missed your question, it wasn't intentional. I'm just scrolling, and sometimes I miss them. That's why it's always good to put a bunch of question marks before your question or a bunch of asterisks, and then I can identify it really quick as a question. So, and if you haven't smashed that thumbs up button, I'd appreciate it. It helps more people find it. We still got 146 people in here, which is amazing. For those that don't know, I am traveling in Asia now. I am going to be living, after this dental work is done, I'm going to be living in work, live, play community. So basically that means like you live in a condo and you have access to all shops, restaurants, a grocery store, entertainment, all in like the same, I don't want to use the word complex because sometimes it's neighborhoods, but the first place I'll be staying, which is True Digital Park, is just a big complex. And that's what I'm doing. So I will be in Bangkok until August 1st. Then I will be in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia from 1 August to 1 October. And then from 1 October to 9 January, I will be in BGC, Manila, Philippines, which I'm super excited about. Kevin, what are your thoughts on the FIRE movement, and do you think ETFs are property are a better way to achieve FIRE? So I'm a huge FIRE proponent. I mean, I consume FIRE content all the time. I've been FIRE since I was 38 years old, and I'm a huge fan of Mr. Money Mustache, 1500 Days, Purple Life, Choose FI, all that stuff. I did something that a lot of FIRE people frown upon. I did a bunch of dividend stocks because I was building my dividend or portfolio way before the FIRE movement started, and my reasoning was I want to replace my full-time income with dividend income, and so I was really focused on dividend income, and so a huge portion of my portfolio is dividend, but I do have a big portion that is the ETF and chill, like the VTI or VTSAX and chill, Vanguard and chill type of portfolio. I have a big portion of it that is that as well. So yeah, I'm on both sides of that fence. I do own a rental property that's fully paid off, and so that cash flows for me, obviously. So I'm a fan of real estate. I used to own 7 rental properties, all paid off. Back in the day, I used to buy a different property every duty station in the military, and then I'd rent it out. And I was a big Dave Ramsey guy in the beginning, so I was completely debt free. I spent a lot of time in combat zones, so I always got tax-free pay and nowhere to spend it. So that's how I was buying these properties for cash instead of having a mortgage. And so yeah, I would say come up with a way that you're comfortable with to do the FIRE movement, whether it's dividends, whether it's the more popular FIRE movement method, which is VTI, VTSAX, and chill, an ETF, or there's a lot of rental type of hacking done, a lot of real estate hacking done in the FIRE community. I would say pick whichever one you're comfortable. I have my feet in all of them. I've scaled down my real estate portfolio because I just got tired of managing properties. And that's why I only have one left, which I've had the same renter in it since 2011. So it's like hardly any work, and he's a retired maintenance man, so he does almost all the maintenance. And so I haven't had, and it's a family member, and so I haven't had to do anything with it. So that's why I keep it. But as soon as he's elderly now, as soon as he doesn't rent it anymore, I will probably sell it. But I like more passive stuff, and real estate is hands-on. Even if you hire a property manager, you still have a lot of admin stuff going on. You should look up Walk and Wall Street. I really enjoy watching him. I'll check him out. The content I can consume on YouTube is 3 different things. Well, 4 different things. I'm a big Star Wars nerd, so I consume a lot of Star Wars content. I am a big travel nerd, so I watch a lot of travel vloggers, van life, expat stuff, cruising stuff. I'm all over that, all of that. I also like to watch popcorn in bed, stuff like that, where they're watching a movie and having commentary. I just enjoy it. I don't know why. I put it on late at night and watch it, and usually fall asleep to one of those. I just find them really fascinating. And what else? What other type of content do I do? Oh, and financial content. I watch a lot of financial content. I'm really like a lot of FIRE movement content and a lot of dividend content because I'm such a dividend nerd. So, yeah. Just got off NCL Spirit Trans-Pacific to Tokyo from Vancouver. Dude, I was supposed to be on that cruise. But I ended up having to get over here sooner for this dental stuff, so I didn't take it. But I was supposed to be on your cruise, Jake. I'm so jealous, man. Gloria Andrews says, the Princess Cruise from Australia to Canada. I took it in reverse order last October and loved it. Yeah, I definitely want to do that. Like the places that cruise stops, like in Tahiti, French Polynesia, America Samoa sometimes, places I really want to go. Kevin, would you ever do slow travel in Jakarta? I definitely would. I mean, I have been to Indonesia before, but Bali. But I definitely would like to do Jakarta. There is I have the IHG credit card, and they have a really inexpensive, points-wise IHG Holiday Inn there, and I would love to just go stay there for a month. What is your ship cruise itinerary for next spring for your Trans-Pacific? It's like a 32-day, and it's all of the like island stuff, Tahiti, America Samoa, New Zealand, and then up to Hawaii, and then to LA, and then to Vancouver, because they're going to start the Alaskan season. It's like 32 days. I booked an Alaskan cruise on Transatlantic Cruise for Princess for my retirement, thanks to you and your advice and Cruise Plum. Yeah, Cruise Plum is the best search engine. You bring me to the channel. Just checked out one of your old videos, quality work. Ah, thanks, man. Thanks, Hiking Painter. I appreciate that. Kevin, the pessimist inside me, says to also invest a small percentage in gold. I own a bunch of physical gold. I went through this phase where I bought a bunch of gold and silver, and I own a bunch of physical gold that I store in a safety deposit box. So I actually own a lot of gold coins. So I do have that. And I have Bitcoin as well. Small percentage of my portfolio, very small, gold and Bitcoin. But I do have gold in my portfolio. It's one of my favorite because I just love touching it. I used to travel with a gold coin. And then I was like, this is probably pretty stupid to travel with. But I used to travel with a 1 ounce gold coin, American Eagle gold coin. And I was always like, if I need to get out of a jam, I could probably sell this and get, use the money. So I used it as kind of like a protective thing. Yeah, I mean, Dave Ramsey hates a lot of things. I credit Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey is a great starting point, but once you get past the baby steps and get out of debt and into the building wealth phase, I think his advice is a little dated. Not that it won't work, because it will, but I just think there's better options than a mutual fund that has a high expense ratio. And I don't know why he doesn't embrace things like Vanguard, because it's so much, to me, it's so much better than trying to find a good mutual fund. But anyway, I don't want to beat up on Dave, because I love Dave. I love Dave Ramsey. I'd say if you're in a bad financial position, start with Dave Ramsey and then move on to like a simple path to wealth by J.L. Collins. And then check out Mr. Money Mustache, check out 1500 Days, check out Choose Fi podcast, one of the best financial independence podcasts out there. Check out Mile High Fi, which is a little bit different. And yeah, there's a ton of ways to skin that turkey, if that's a phrase. Which cruise line gives you the most bang for your buck? I like Princess for a solo traveler. It's pretty much the cheapest for solo travelers, other than MSC. Best bang for your buck, I'd probably say Princess. I had a lot of fun on NCL. NCL is a lot of fun, but Princess is just more affordable. Have you ever met up with Cheap Charlie? I have not, but I have donated to him many times because I appreciate the guy. He doesn't travel like I travel. I did the backpacker, very low cost travel in my life, And I just don't want to travel like that anymore. I know it's elitist of me. I just don't want to travel like that. I don't want to live that life. I'm almost 50 years old. I don't want to live that life anymore. There was a time and place for it, and I can always go back to it if I want to. I need to, like something happens in the world and I need to be super frugal, but I'm at a point in my life where I don't have to be frugal. I don't have to live in $100 a month apartments. And so, but I did do that to get myself in a good financial position. So I'm not dogging it. I just don't want to live like that anymore. But I really enjoy Cheap Charlie. I don't like how people pick on him, but I enjoy him. I wouldn't mind meeting him. He's a really, he seems like a really nice guy. Kevin, random question, but do you think you will happen to be on the Ramsey show when Dave Ramsey is no longer with us? I honestly don't think I can watch it without Dave. I like his daughter, Rachel Cruz. I think she's all right. You know, some of the other guys, they're okay. But I actually like his daughter, and I'm sure she's probably going to be the face of it. But I actually like Rachel Cruz. Do you have a favorite travel vlogger? I have a ton of favorite travel vloggers. I really like Global Life, Grounded Life Finances. I've really been into them as a nuts and bolt travel. There's a ton I like. I mean, obviously, I have a lot of friends, so I'd be remiss if I didn't mention a bunch of them. I could just go on and on about like different ones. So it would take me all day to mention them, but I have a lot. But I'm watching a lot of Grounded Life Finances. I'm also watching a lot of, God, I can't even think of his name. He's, Retire and Go. He's doing a lot of stuff in Malaysia, although he's in, I think he's in Pattaya right now. But I've been watching a lot of Retire and Go. He has a very similar background story to me. And I always stumble upon these new channels and I watch them for a while. Like I'm watching Eager Expat now, also a similar story to me. And he invited me to have a beer with him. And at some point I'll probably take him up on that once this dental work is done. But yeah. Because Dave Ramsey does not make any money from VU or VTI. Good point. All right, guys, I think I'm going to call it a live stream. I haven't even showered from my 20,000 steps this morning, and it is, even though I start at like 4:30 in the morning, it is still 80 degrees when I start. And by the time I finish, it's almost 90 degrees. And so I come back like just super sweaty. And I didn't have enough time to honestly take a shower and change before I jumped on this live stream. So I just jumped on the live stream. So I need to take a shower and get out of my room so my housekeeper can come in here. She's had the last couple of days off. And so she's going to come in and refresh my room. And I'm going to go over to Starbucks and edit some of this dental video I'm doing. But I appreciate you guys all hopping in here and asking all the great questions. And yeah, thanks for watching, and look out for that new video coming out on dental stuff.